Hi guys, we're live. We're here with Bernard Chang. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, you're super busy. You got cons and stuff coming up, so we're gonna try to keep this to about an hour ish. Not going over an hour and a half ish. So yeah. So if you guys have questions, put them in the chat, but make sure they count so you don't harass it with super duper many questions. So yeah, so we don't go over 2 hours. So hey, how are you doing?
Good. Good. I
Yeah.
just noticed this stream is called Fartist.
It is called Fartist feature, yes. And do you see what I did down here? I took your arts. Sean wanted to make sure that I made your name pink, like his name, and I put a little pink turd right there, and I have your Cyclops zapping the pink turd. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
You're welcome. But yes, it is called Fartist feature.
Do we have to fart a certain number of times?
You do not, but however, Sean was hoping that we would have the first ever fartist to fart on stream, so it might happen. Yeah. Yes.
I forgot to eat the potato.
You forgot to eat the potatoes? Dang it, Bernard. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, let's see what Mother Nature has.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. Well, I'm so glad you.
Challenge.
Yeah, you're always up for a challenge. Yes, and I know you can fart with the best of them because I've seen it and I've redeemed farts on your channel many times. I think that's probably what I save my points up for, is just to have you fart on demand. So you're welcome. Yeah, so let's say a quick hello to the chat here. We got all the way from the UK. We got Glenn. What's up, Glenn?
Hello,
we got
Glenn.
Las Cruces. What's up, Las Cruces? Hi. And we got PTT. What's up? Yes. Bernard always does have an entourage. This is facts, Kyle.
Oh, okay. I'm seeing that.
Can you see chat? Yeah. So if I highlight them, they're going to be up here. But if you click on the right-hand side, it'll say comments, and then you can see the chat as well.
Okay. Oh, yes. Sean's here, huh?
Oh, I didn't get to the bottom yet, but yes, I see him down there. And then we got Figure. What's up, Figure? Yes, Hubba. Yes. Yep. Hey, Sean. What's up? You didn't bring the potatoes this time. It's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, I've been trying to cut out the carbs. Next week is New York Comic Con, so we're making a public appearance. So gotta look a little svelte.
Right? Oh, getting sassy and saucy for the big day. What is that, next week?
Next week, yes.
Next week? Wow. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna have some fun. You got the what are you? You and Jerry are on the D block right down from Peach Momoko. That's gonna be fun.
Are exactly right next to Peach Momoko, so should be interesting. There's going to be there's usually a big line for peaches. Last year, I think there was a big fight.
Yes. I don't know about the fight, but yeah, shenanigans. Well, that'll be definitely be interesting. Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of traffic down your aisle for sure, though.
So curious to see. I mean, we've all been to conventions where sometimes you sit next to, another person that's like extremely popular, and their crowd kind of covers your space, and then, you're kind of like, non-accessible because of their crowd.
Yeah.
And then vice versa. So it's always like, trying to be more conscious or aware of the other person, because you really do just have limited amount of space to kind of put your stuff out there. And then it's sometimes also the other artists, like their stuff is, I mean, it's like kind of like it's an invisible line, right? You get like in San Diego, you get a 3-foot space. In WonderCon or New York, it's like 6 feet.
Tiny.
So it's double, but 3 foot is the width of a door, basically.
Yeah, that's about gotta be about the size of my desk right here. That's not super large at all.
Yeah, so it's not a ton of space to move around. You're kind of stuck in there, and you have your stuff underneath the table as well, like your suitcase. Other people, they have more stuff. They have like these big, contraptions, and it can be a little touchy at times. So
Yeah, especially if you're really crap like that and it gets super hot in there. Like you're like,
Right.
oh,
And
it's
it's kind of
crazy
like an
hot.
airplane, you know. I mean, you can just kind of fart whenever you want. Um,
You can, it
it's
might clear some space around you.
you could, but you're there for the whole weekend, so eventually they're gonna know that it's you. Whereas on an airplane, it's a few hours, and you're like
Yeah,
pretend like you're asleep. So, um, yeah, conventions are always interesting.
yeah. I love going to conventions. That's where I find a lot of interesting people. And I've actually met up with a bunch of people from Twitch and YouTube at the conventions. We got Shutterduck is in here, and oh, we got Simple Man. What's up, Simple Man? Hey,
Hey, Tony,
and then we got
Kevin
Kev.
P.
What's up,
West is
Kev?
here.
Kev, you getting ready to go to Grand Rapids Comic Con? Let's see. We got Michael Baker. What's up, Michael Baker? Yes, the pit stop. Yes, for all the cool peeps, all the cool people are in here. This is facts. And we got what up, Rick? What's happening? Have you won the lottery yet? Oh, yes, that's right. Because you gave him scratch off tickets when you guys met.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. I got one the other day. I haven't scratched it off yet. It's only like when I go grocery shopping, when they have the big lottery machine in the
Yeah.
supermarket, and when I walk by it, I'm like, how do I feel today? Do I feel lucky? Do I not feel lucky? It's like spur of the moment. So
Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to play and then scratch them off, and then you never know. You could win something.
yeah, and I tend to want to play the $20 or $30 scratch off ticket, which is the high. It's a little bit more pricier. But I think like the odds of winning are, or at least winning back your money, is a little bit higher when you're
Yeah,
playing the
that's true. I think so.
higher ends, as opposed to the $1 or $2 or even $5 scratch offs. Most of those you're going to probably lose. So
Yeah, I'd say more so. Yeah, the $20 range probably good ticket range. Because I've seen you
yeah,
scratch off a bunch on stream. You pretty much win your money back every time.
right.
So
It's
it's good.
pretty much break even. So
Yeah.
um, and I think some, because I'm so late in cashing them, some of them have expired. So
Oh no.
I don't know how to get my money back. Some of them are like,
Oh dang.
I think there's one that's a pretty good winner here. And I also
Oh,
have like, fake
yeah.
lottery tickets for friends,
Those are
right?
fun.
They come over. I pulled this prank once, and then, my friend, she was like so happy, she thought she won, and I was like laughing, and then, she was a little upset afterwards.
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
terrible. Oh, hi, handsomes. Oh, hubba, indeed. Yes. Oh, hey, Blackie, what's up? That's a lot of pressure to put on him. Hey, this man is a natural born farter. Let me tell you. He
I'm
rivals the
coming.
best of
I'm
them.
drinking some soda. This is some
Ooh, what
seltzer.
are you drinking?
This is some
Oh,
Kirkland
that'll definitely
seltzer,
help. Wait, hold on. Let me make you big. You could show it off like your hand model.
and I had some.
Ooh. Oh,
Oh,
there you go.
yeah, and then this is some energy drink.
Ah, yeah, you gotta have that. I'm drinking my mango ghost because mango is delicious.
I think we're
Yes.
really in America. We're really, really strung up. At least I am on energy drinks or some kind of caffeinated drinks. When you go overseas,
Yeah.
um, there's there's not that many energy drinks as you would find here in the States. Um, so it becomes like a little bit like the first couple weeks. I'm like, or the first few days, I'm trying to find. Oh, there's a butthead.
Oh, butthead.
It's disappearing. So
There
I'm
he
trying
is.
to find like a source of caffeine. Um, so because the coffee that they make overseas is like Americano, which is I guess it's espresso. It's espresso, but then they just pour water in it, right? Can anybody confirm that? Like an Americano overseas is like one shot of like espresso with just water.
Well, Glenn is in the UK, so maybe Glenn, you can enlighten us if anybody else is in the chat. It's overseas or there. And then we also got Promiscuous Time Traveler says his new show is Shartist in the Sheets. Oh my. Yes. And then we got Sugar Sean. Kevin's saying hi to Sugar Sean. We got Wildstorm. What's up, Wildstorm? Hello.
What's up, Wildstorm?
Yeah, there he is. Hey. We got Dr. Midnight in the house. What's up, Dr. Midnight?
Yojimbo's here. Energy drink started off in South Korea. I had the Bacchus D. It was nasty. I didn't really like it. It hasn't really. You can go to a Korean supermarket and get that kind of stuff, and it just has a real chemical kind of taste, I think.
Yeah, some energy drinks I don't like because of that metallic-y, chemically taste. But these ones I prefer. These were some of the monsters. Also, Wild say make sure you stock up on ass napkins before the con. Yes.
Yes, that's necessary. My last show in Osaka was quite legendary.
Yes. Oh man.
Jimbo says in Taiwan there are women that sell beetle nuts.
Beetle nuts.
So it's like a little, like a green nut, like, how do we say it? I've actually never had a beetle nut. I might have when I was like very young, but it's like a plant.
Okay.
Like a fruit plant, like a grape, size of a grape.
Okay.
But has like maybe like a corn with the husk on it, kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
And people, they just put it in their mouth, they chew on it, and like they get the saliva mixes with the beetle nut, and it gives them like a bit of a rush. It has like a caffeine boost.
Interesting.
And then in Taiwan, they're known for, you can buy them roadside. They have these little stalls along the street, not everywhere, but more in the rural areas, where these girls in bikinis, scantily clad women, sell these to drivers that have to drive, long distances. So, but the thing with the beetle nut is you have to spit a lot. So you're like, and then you have, so it's like kind of gross.
Kind of like pistachio though, because we got the shell and you have to take the shell off. But a lot of people like suck on the shell type thing. Interesting.
I don't think there's a shell. Is there a shell?
Interesting. Also, hey, Pod Bless. And hey, what's up, Casual Hero? What's up? Looks like you had a lot of fun over at Rose City. He was just at a booth at Rose City Comic Con. What's up, by the way? Yeah. Let's see. We got, yes, looks like most of the CHEN gang is here. Yeah, it was good to see that.
All right.
Yeah. I like all that. Yes. And, hey, Misso, what's going on? 3 feet is a brutal size. Yeah. That's tiny, tiny table space, especially when you're trying to display a lot of stuff, especially your own goods. Yeah.
Yeah, San Diego, we've got it down to a little bit of a science where they have a book, like a bookshelf thing. So I put all the original art on the bookshelf, but then that pretty much covers up the 3 foot, not even 3 feet, I think, maybe like 2 feet, but like 3 feet, 3 foot space. And then you have a little bit of room on the side for like 1 or 2 books. So if you wanted to do like a remark or, signed copy books or whatever. But it's very limited space in Artist Alley in San Diego. Other artists, they have their own booth. Sean and I, we used to have a 10 by 10. It was 20 by 10 at one point. Booth in San Diego.
Oh, dang.
For about 10 years.
Wow.
So.
That's a big size table. That's crazy. You must have caused all kinds of shenanigans back then.
Well, yeah, I mean, because the San Diego, because our group, Sean's in New York, John Paul, it was in Miami, Tommy was in North Carolina, Trevor and myself were the 2 guys in LA. So we were tasked with handling San Diego, and it was usually like me handling San Diego. So it was a bunch of, you had to drive down there the day before everybody because you had to get extra tables and chairs. Bring the sketchbooks that would get shipped to my house. So it was a little bit of a pain in the ass. And then Sean just has to show up, like a diva, just walks in, casually sits down and starts collecting money.
Well, he is Sugar Sean. That's what he's there for. Yeah.
So, and then like everybody's super shy. So I would have to like stand on the, like stand on a street corner in the aisle, passing out like flyers, like, "Hey, check out our new sketchbook over here." Um,
Yeah.
so
That's why you need the booth babes. Like, speaking of booth babe, you got Court right here. What's up, Court? Hi.
hello.
She's a lovely lady on your streams. And
We had booth attendants. Prefer to
yeah.
use the proper term.
Oh, attendants.
Booth
Okay.
attendants.
Yeah.
Who helped out, you know, correlating sales of the sketchbooks. Well, part of that is when you're an artist sitting in a booth at a table, your head is usually down because you're drawing,
Yeah.
and so you miss up a lot of opportunities of people passing by. Sometimes they don't want to bother you. Sometimes it's like they don't know you, but they might be interested in, buying a sketchbook or a piece of artwork. Um, and So the attendants help, like, kind of answer initial questions, and then filter out if they just want to buy a book, or if they want to get Sean to pick up his head to interact with other humans.
Hey, Lisa. Yeah, we got a couple people in chat that will be at New York. I know Lisa will be there. CJ will be there, but I haven't seen him yet. But yes, there's some people. That's a good gimmick that they got there, possibly. Oh, someone's ready to party. Just got home, the bra off and beer open. Let's party. All right.
Wow.
Yeah. What did you do now? Court, you're awesome. I love Court.
I've actually had the last couple of days off. Well, I got the booster shot on Tuesday.
Oh, the new one?
So Wednesday I was all knocked out.
Oh, dang.
I had the chills, I had the fever. And then yesterday, Thursday, I was feeling a little bit better, so I did do some errands. And then today, Friday, I just woke up just for this.
Perfect. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better after that, because I know those knock me out usually for a few days.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, it'll kick in, because I caught COVID last year at New York Comic Con.
Oh, no.
So it was the first time catching it.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully that doesn't come back around, because I'm still recovering from mine when I got mine like 2 years ago. It's awful.
Yeah, I still think I have like a little bit of long COVID symptoms.
Yeah.
The
fatigue kills me. I still get that. Yeah.
I have one thing where I smell ghost cigarette smoke.
Interesting. Mine is I taste mold. Like I'll go to eat something and I get a weird like taste of mold.
Mold.
And then mold. Yeah. My mom does the same thing, but she tastes perfume. It's very weird. Like smell and taste, it has affected a ton of people in different ways. And I hear other people tell me that they smell gas, like gasoline.
Oh,
so yeah,
okay.
It's very strange, like how that has just completely affected people completely differently.
Yeah, because like it started, again, earlier this year. I'd be sitting in my desk working in the middle of the night, and I'd smell cigarette smoke, very faint.
Wow.
Very light. And I'm trying to figure out which one of my neighbors is smoking, and then where is it penetrating, my unit from? Because like this guy, Butthead, they're very like sensitive to scents. Their nasal passages can often get irritated or inflamed and infected, and then they can easily die that way.
Oh no,
So
that's terrible.
But I can't, because it's the middle of the night. I go outside, I try to see whose lights are still on. I talk to almost everybody. So I gotta think like it must be just me.
Wow.
But we'll see. Like one neighbor that I suspect next door over here on this side, she just moved out. So I suspected it was her.
Interesting.
So we'll see. Since she's moved out, I haven't smelled anything.
Oh, could have been her. Yeah.
But again, it's like on and off. Anybody in chat knows about this?
Yeah, let us
Uh,
know, medical people, if you're in here or COVID
Sean's
experts.
parents, Sean's entire family outside of him, were all doctors, his brothers and sisters. So
Whoa.
he's a
So
wealth of
yeah.
medical knowledge.
So just by that fact, Sean should know all this because, by nature, his family is medical people.
And here's another thing. I find like now when I drink alcohol, sometimes I get flush,
Ooh.
whereas like my face turns red. Whereas in the past, my face would never, I would never get flush. So I gotta suspect that's a little bit have to do with COVID.
Could be.
I didn't know this was going to be the COVID conversation.
I didn't know this either, but yeah, it's interesting what happens when you get on a panel and you start talking about stuff. But also, Simple says if you need help farting, he happens to be somewhat of an expert. Oh, hey, nice. Yes, and you forgot to eat the potatoes, Sean says. Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay. So is this stuff like simulcasting on Twitch and YouTube or?
And Twitter, yes.
Oh, okay.
I know. It's fancy pants. I know.
Wow.
Also, what's up, Bronze? How are you doing? How are you guys doing? He just had Sean also on his stream. They had a lovely chat together.
Sean's been doing the circuit, promoting his Kickstarter.
Yeah. He actually drew on Fidget's stream, which was awesome. Way to go, Sean.
Yeah, I feel a little like, because I've been trying to get Sean to draw on our stream on Twitch, and he's always like, no, I can't. I don't know how to set up the camera. I don't know this and that.
Sean.
And then I turn on Fitch's stream, and like, lo and behold, it's working.
Full-on
kind of doing a pretty good job drawing.
Artist there. Oh, Sean.
Yeah, he's doing a pretty decent job drawing and talking at the same time.
What the hell, Sean? You know what? I don't think he wants to let go of his, his face on Chun-Li's body yet. That's probably what it is. I think he doesn't want to give that up. Is what's happening there. Yes, people are on YouTube, Court. So yeah, it's on a couple different sites happening right now. Bronze might be the expert in that, so ask Bronze for sure.
So this StreamYard consolidates all three into one. So when you see the chats come up on the comments, that's aggregating everything or pulling everything into this one.
So yep. So see how Sean is on YouTube? It's got the little red YouTube icon on here.
Yeah.
And then you see how Casual Hero is purple icon is on Twitch. So it puts them all in here. It's very strange though, because some of the other chats can't see the Twitch chat, but Twitch can see everyone's chat. It's weird how it's working, but yeah. And then for whatever reason, Twitter, you can't type on Twitter, but you could watch the whole entire show. And then you can also do Facebook and a couple other sites as well. It's kind of weird how it works too, but yeah. Yeah, it's pretty fancy pants. Yes. We got some ducks in the house. Yes.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out my audio issue on my stream. Ever since I got my AirPods replaced, I haven't been able to stream. Am I glitching a little bit? It seems like I'm glitching.
Like when you do sudden movements, then the green screen cuts in, but otherwise you look fine.
Oh, okay.
There's Jeremy Joe, who you'll be meeting up at New York, and he won your saucy, sexy bot the other day that you did from Evermind. That came out amazing, by the way.
Thank you. Yes, we used a spoon as a reference.
Did.
It's like we want to tailor the stream. It's an edutainment stream, right? Yes. So there are moments where it's kind of fun, where we banter and chat about comics related stuff. And then there's also a drawing component where we want to at least give a little bit of an educational tips, although it's not as well formatted as like Finch's stream, because we're really very disorganized. I strive for us to be potentially more organized, but it would just require a lot of time initially to set up.
I think you guys are doing a great job.
we have you guys. You show up and chat, and your Jimbo's on, and he's been a godsend. I mean, without you, Jimbo, I don't know how we'd be lasting this long. He's been our
Oh,
moderator
mod
at the beginning.
extraordinaire for sure. Yes.
Yeah, it really helped answer a lot of questions early on in terms of setup and all that stuff. So, um,
Nice.
yeah. So I mean, it's really been something that's been a lot of fun. It's been a great learning experience. It's been very therapeutic, I think. Um, but mostly, I think I really enjoy sharing um, some of these stories. The only
Ooh.
downside, I think, is if we migrate eventually at some point, um,
All right.
we're going to have to repeat some of the same stories, right, to a new audience. I don't know. We'll see.
CJ says he likes her glasses. I'm saving a bunch of questions in the chat. I'll get back to them because I just want to catch up to the bottom of
Okay.
the chat. So yes, we got CJ in here. He will also be at New York Comic Con, so he'll go say hey. He already told Sean he was going to go run around and find him. And Braun says he's a boo slut. He's taking the term back. Nice.
Oh,
way to go. Yes, I actually look alive and awake today. Yes.
Sean will be. Sean, are you sitting? Are you sitting with me in Artist Alley for part of the show at least?
I would say so because he doesn't have a booth, so he said he was going to be running around to try to find stuff. Oh, this is true. Yeah, a lot of people don't. Yes, and I actually put his booth. I think you're at D4. Is your
D4,
table?
yes.
Yeah, it's down below in the thing. So if you guys want to go run, say hi to him because you will be there. Go for it. Say hi. And I think Jerry, is like a table over from you?
Right next, like
right next door. And if you don't know, Jerry, haha, I'm wearing his Gojira shirt.
Oh, that's right.
I know, which I actually won from you, which is amazing. And I like that he's like grabbing my boob right here. It's great. It's amazing.
I wonder if Jerry had that in mind when he designed it.
Good question, Jerry. Did you? Because it's exactly kind of right there. He's like,
Because the thing with that shirt is the tail kind of wraps around the side.
Yeah.
Right? So that's like usually that's kind of difficult
poking
to
the
print.
other boob, and then he's like grabbing that boob. Yeah.
Right.
So Jerry, did you have that in mind when you made these shirts?
I'm gonna have to ask him.
Please ask him. Also, it is a travesty that he's not making these shirts anymore because these are the best shirts ever.
Yes.
They're so comfy. They look amazing. And also, what's up, Ferd?
I'm burping a lot this stream, but so far, there's gas.
There's gas happening. Yes.
It's coming up top. I'm trying to.
It'll happen. It'll happen. Yeah. It'll happen before. We still got about an hour left. We'll see. Some artists go to conventions to hang with friends. Yes, this is true. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's in part why we started the Boulevard all those years ago. With Sean, John Paul, Tommy, Trevor, and myself. Was that because we all live in different parts of the country, and everybody has families and kids. So a convention was a way for us to kind of hang out for a weekend, a couple times a year. So in the past, we would just do maybe 2 or 3 shows a year, and that would be a good opportunity to just kind of catch up, along with sending each other emails and texts with new work, because we weren't like a studio that's under a roof. We were more of a studio set up for convention purposes. But your Jimbo's right. I mean, a lot of times, for me now, the conventions are an opportunity to meet old friends, hang out with them, network for potential gigs coming up, and then also an opportunity to meet fans and friends and kind of promote the projects.
No, for sure. That's my favorite part about going to con is meeting the artists and then meeting your friends and having like little get-togethers and stuff. And also, yes, look out for CJ. He will be there. And if you know him, you'll know him by his hands because if you see him, he only streams with his hands. It's magical. Might be a Kool-Aid guy involved as well. Yes. Oh, Bernard and Quesada caught COVID last year. That's right. I remember that. Oh, metal mouth is a COVID symptom? Interesting. Okay.
Is that when like things just taste metallic?
Probably.
Hmm.
Wow. Dang. That's harsh. Yeah, Court, I had to stop eating like chocolate, salads, like bread and stuff like a whole year because it was like the only thing I would taste when I would eat it. It was awful. It was terrible. Oh, we got Belmont Press in here. What's up? You were one of his first fans. You wrote him a letter in your early days when you worked at Valiant. He wrote you back, sent you a doodle of Dr. Mirage. Oh, that's awesome.
Really?
That's
Who was
so
this?
cool. Belmont Press Comics.
Oh,
He said they say they'll never forget that, and they still have the sketch. That's awesome. Very
wow.
cool. It's super awesome. Very cool. Thank you for stopping by. Awesome. That's cool. This is also true. He's saying it's probably me you're spelling the smoke from, and he's all the way in New York. So dang. Dang, I'm like super far behind. Okay, so Sean is the black sheep. Okay. Yes. Okay, hold on. Let me scroll down even more because I'm very far behind. I'm trying to catch up to the bottom. Oh, what's up, Kelly? Hey, Steve. What's happening? Oh, hey, Blackron. What's up? What's happening? We are here talking with Bernard. And yes, hey, Bernard. What's happening? So if the peeps don't know you, would you like to just introduce yourself to the peeps in the chat? I'm sure they all know you. I know they've all done. Yeah, you. Yeah.
Hi, my name's Bernard. I draw comic books. I've been drawing comic books since I was 20 years old, professionally. First started out at a company called Valiant. This was their first during their initial run with Bob Layton as the editor-in-chief. I missed the Jim Shooter days by a couple of months. Ever since then, I've been drawing comics, and I spent a few years working at Disney as a Walt Disney Imagineer, designing rides for theme parks.
Oh, that's cool.
But more recently, I think a lot of DC Comics and Marvel Comics. Right now, Jean Grey is the new series from Marvel. This is issue 2. Amy Reeder did the cover. This is a 4-issue miniseries written by Louise. Louise is actually in the hospital right now.
She's in the hospital? Oh no. I love Louise.
She had an irregular heartbeat, so she checked into the hospital the other day.
Oh snap.
So I hope she's okay.
Yeah, I hope Louise does all right. Dang.
So I mean, I started collecting comics when I was a kid, teenager. I would read comics a lot. My family immigrated to the States when I was 6 in Indiana. I've kind of lived in a few different places. When we first moved to the States, I didn't know any English. Comic books was a great way for me to kind of begin to read, integrate. Also, I enjoyed drawing as a hobby at the time. And it was a really fun way for me to be kind of expressive. And then I never thought I'd be a comic book artist. Although I always, drew comics. I went to an art high school down in Miami, Florida. And during high school, they forbid us from drawing comic books. They wanted us to focus on fine arts, the fundamentals, painting, figure drawing, sculpture, ceramics. And it wasn't until I got to college where I majored in architecture at Pratt. I hated it the first year. It wasn't anything that I had initially anticipated. But in the middle of that kind of conundrum, I walked across the street from the campus to a bodega they had a rack of comic books in the newsstand area. I picked up a copy of X-Men. I always forget the number, 382, I want to say. It's a giant size Jim Lee X-Men where they go into the Savage Land with Rogue and Magneto.
I love that book.
And yeah, and I remember I picked up the book, I'm flipping through it, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I hadn't read comics in a few years by that time. But I looked at the artist, Jim Lee, and I remembered, wow, I remember when Jim Lee's first book came out, was an Alpha Flight issue. You know, back then, you could actually also get comics mailed to you from Marvel. So I would have like a couple comics mailed to me from Marvel, and then I would go to the comic book store once a month to pick up like limited series or any other special books that didn't come on a regular monthly basis. And so I remember specifically picking up that issue of Alpha Flight that Jim drew, flipping through it as I was walking from the mailbox back home, and just being amazed by like difference in the style at that time from what he was drawing versus the previous artist. And it just always kind of stuck in my head. And you know, fast forward again a few years to that bodega when I'm flipping through the comic book and I recognize the name again, and seeing again how much she's also progressed and transformed since that Alpha Flight issue. And then thinking to myself, you know, I'm in New York City. Why not? Both Marvel and DC Comics at the time were in New York City, as well as all the other publishers. Why not try to get a side job drawing comics, and that might help satiate my urge to just be like kind of loose and creative. You know, again, from drawing and drawing in high school, where it was a lot of free form drawing, being very creative, moving to transitioning to an architecture education where everything's measured and ruled. I have to make little models that fit into each other. So everything has to be pre-planned and measured out. I thought this might be a cool side job to have. You know, maybe draw 1 or 2 issues a year and make a little extra money. I could maybe go out and eat as opposed to just eating the cafeteria food or whatever. And so I just started asking around campus. I started asking friends, hey, do you know anybody that's interning at Marvel or DC? Maybe they can get me a tryout plot. Back then they had tryout submissions plot or scripts to work from for aspiring artists. And so a couple weeks go by, I end up somebody says, yeah, I know this guy named Mike. He's interning at Marvel. His dorm room is I don't know, like 301 or something in Willoughby Hall. So I just go knock on his door. At first, Mike's like, yeah, sure, I'll get you something. You know, another week goes by, nothing. So I go knock on his door again, and finally, you know, bugged him a couple times, and he got me a plot. It was great. And then I just started working from there and started drawing, and I'd show Mike, and then at the same time, my best friend from high school, John Paul, he was going to SVA, and he had his group of friends there that were kind of into comics, because SVA is a more illustration school, and I would hang out with John and his friends, and John eventually got me into a program called the Bad Boys Studio, which was run by Michael Davis, and Michael would call it the DC New Talent Program, although I don't know officially if it was part of DC Comics, but that's how he kind of passed it along. And so Michael was then
got some action, some hot action.
Oh, that's bird poop right there.
Got some hot action. Where's Ducks at? Nice.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's bird poop. That means good luck. That means
it is very good luck. Yes.
I
Yeah.
have to go buy
some scratch offs
A
now.
lottery
Yeah,
scratch off later tonight.
yeah.
Thanks,
And
Butthead.
Josh says, "Legendary. I'm here for this."
This is just a feather right here.
Oh, a feather. Nice. So if you guys don't know, that's his bird, Butthead. And if you don't know, Bernard here, pretty much every Tuesday, streams with Sean Chen, Courtney, and Jerry Ma, and a couple others on his Twitch channel, which is right here, which also dual streams usually to YouTube, but the Twitch chat is where it's happening. So go hang out and follow him on Twitch so you guys can get all of the fun stuff happening there because it's awesome. It's actually my favorite stream that happens. I like to go hang on there. Yes. And the squawking that you hear is his pet bird, which is Butthead. It's the Sean says you got an avian Cleveland steamer.
Yes. Well, no, Cleveland Steamer's on the chest, Sean. This is the one on the back. So
yeah. What would that be then? It'd be different, something different. Yeah. It's a freak. Is that yes? It is a freaking bird for sure. So, yes, for sure. Josh, go follow. Yeah.
A little parrotlet. Next time I'll try to grab him in front of the camera.
Adorable. Yeah.
So the smallest form of parrots in captivity. Yeah. So I mean, being in New York was catamount to launching a comic book career that early. I think. The other thing growing up was I had met maybe one or two comic book artists that had come down to Miami to a comic book shop that I would go to regularly. But I never really thought it was a career that I could get into. You know, mostly because it was like you see. Oh, here's Butthead. Most of these, because well,
there he is. There he's so cute. Hey, Butthead.
Is that you know, a lot of the couple of the comic book artists that I met at store signings, they're like kind of like these old, you know, big guys. And as a youngster, I always thought it was like, oh, this is some kind of like old person's job. And it wasn't until really like seeing Rob Liefeld's Levi's commercial in the 90s and seeing that, oh, wow, this young kid is drawing comic books. It could be kind of a new path that, you know, it just kind of clicked at that moment. I mean, I always knew I kind of wanted to do something with art, but I wasn't exactly sure what it would be, whether it would be illustration, graphic design, or design in general. In high school, there was a moment where I wanted to design cars. I think every high school boy is probably really into like vehicles at some point. It started like junior high being into the space shuttle or the space program, looking at like diagrams of rockets and lunar landers and then drawing those things. And then that moving to like cars. Once you get 16, you get a car, and that kind of really became, oh, now I could design my own car. What would be good schools to go into for what they call transportation design. And then that eventually shifted towards industrial design, which is more like designing, well, now like phones, they all look the same now, but you know, products or car or sneakers. And then also architecture. So
you did design a pair of shoes last year, which were pretty neat, by the way. I liked your color combo that you went with. Looked pretty sleek.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's I have a few things in my bucket list. I think I'm very fortunate to have a bunch of those things scratched off in terms of you know, lifelong. I mean, I always wanted to be a professional basketball player. I'm not very tall. It wasn't good enough. I barely made my college team. So to have my own sneaker, like exclusive colorway, was pretty much a dream come true. So I still wear them. Actually, I have them right here.
Yeah, show those off. Those are really cool. I also like when you did the helmets for the Super Bowl, like a year ago. Oh yeah, those are really neat. Very cool. Look at those.
Yeah.
That's super neat.
They don't make you dunk. They don't make you jump any higher, but they still smell new.
Oh, look at that. Yojimbo is slapping down the shoe links. There you go. Thanks, Yojimbo.
Thanks, Jimbo.
And what's up? What's up, Bleak? How you doing? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Please hit the like button. Thank you, guys. I do have several questions started already, so we can get to those in a second. So,
okay.
Yes, they were amazing. Those helmets were really cool. How did you get involved in that project for the Super Bowl?
Actually, Sean's publisher, Carl, he has his hands in a lot of different things. He called me up one day and said, "Hey, do you like football? Would you be interested in doing something for the NFL for Super Bowl?" And we really only had like a couple weeks to kind of come up with an idea, and pitch and execute. So it was something that was like very, very last minute. The initial idea got struck down. And then the secondary idea was I always had this fascination with Chinese opera masks. And they're very expressive. And I'm trying to see if I have one. Here are my. No, I had one on my table, but they're always very expressive. They're very colorful. Right away, you can kind of tell who the hero is or who the villain is, or maybe what kind of like superpower or skill set that they have, right? So I thought that would be a great way to transition. We're going to partner with NFL China. They wanted to do something where they could promote NFL to the Chinese audience in China. And well, I said, well, why not? Like the Beijing Opera, they're all it's basically like a play. Everybody's struggling or fighting to get to the Super Bowl. So what would each hero, what would each helmet look like if it was painted in the Chinese opera style? So they haven't. We're hoping that they might also extend maybe next year or the year after to do actual full helmets painted in that style.
That would be cool.
But initially, it was just
my favorite was the Lions, of course. Ha 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 ha. Go home team. But no, I really like the design that you did for them because that was really good. But no, I love that so much when you posted that. It was really cool. I like that you guys thought out of the box for that because that was something that was super unique. So kudos for doing that. And like each one was super like unique to each team. I like that. I like that you guys.
Yeah. So part of that was like researching. I mean, I already understood or had my favorite teams. But then also to pick out one or two or three different things unique with the team, having that represented in the characteristics of how it's drawn. So like the Raiders, the Vegas Raiders, the character had an eye patch in the, so it was asymmetrical. I don't remember what the Lions look like. Let me see if I can pull it up on my computer here. But it took a while, and then also trying to make each unique and still look like it would fit into a Chinese opera.
Yeah. Kev also agrees with me. The Lions helmet was the best, right, bro? Boom. Yes. And Sean says, good question, Comic Journey. So there's actually 30 questions in the chat. And we're almost coming up to the 50-minute mark. So I'm going to start pulling up some questions that are in the chat because we don't want to go over too long because you have a buttload of work to do and some commissions. So right now, CJ asks, what is a Greta threat to artists, AI, or overseas workers working for $1.24 per hour?
I don't know. Is that what is $1.24 an hour? Is that an actual?
I don't know. Is that US rate or is that the rate overseas? I don't know, but that's the rate
Yeah,
that he's going with. So
I mean
apparently
the
that's the
world.
rate that he's paying people overseas himself. So
It is tough in a sense that well, the market itself, back when I first started, really was mostly contained in America, right? A lot of getting the jobs was taking your portfolio, going to comic book conventions, standing in line and showing your artwork. So you're either getting discovered in New York or San Diego, because those were the two big shows that editors would actually go out and companies would set up at. And there weren't a lot of a lot of these other smaller shows, maybe like real small shows that were more like vendor centric, as opposed to publishers being there. Um, but now that the world is basically open market, um, it's only natural for the companies to seek talent where they can find it. I guess there are a lot of extremely talented artists overseas that are now getting an opportunity to work on their favorite characters as well growing up. Um, there is a thing where I think some international guys are probably getting lower rates. There is all this secrecy about rates that artists are getting because there's no union. There's no set or public or very little public information about who's getting paid for what. Um, some artists do share amongst ourselves, um, but sometimes you also find guys that are unwilling to talk about, something like this. Whether they're getting paid less than us or less than, if overseas artists are getting paid less, I do hope they get paid the same if the work um, merits it in terms of the quality and the sales that are kind of a result of their work. Um, AI is a whole other thing where um, now I think uh, part of the part of the drive of the last 15 years has been uh, comic book IPs used as to turn into other kind of ancillary movies or cartoons or whatever. And there was always a moment where the artist was uh, needed an artist the writer needed an artist to kind of make their ideas come to fruition. And now with AI, you can put together something that looks fairly competent, um, and not have spent a single moment in your life learning how to draw or tell a story. So there is another threat. Um, there's always threats. There's always going to be issues to adapt to. Um, you, it's like even Sean, like I was texting Sean the other day. I was like, hey, I got an offer to do this project. He got a similar offer. I was like, what did they ask you? What did they offer you? What do you think? Have you heard from anybody else what you think is a comparable rate? Um, and so some of that too is as an artist, we're very, I'm not like a shrewd business guy. I don't really like talking numbers. Um, and so sometimes it's a little off-putting to ask for more or to ask for what you feel like you deserve. Um, so there are like, different nuances to all. Like, I don't really see the overseas thing as a huge, um, downfall. The AI is probably something that's going to have a greater impact sooner than later, because technology advances at incremental rates. So what we're seeing now, we're not even seeing what's being in development. So when it does come out and only improves at a faster rate than us, there will be stuff that will be very, very challenging to overcome. But AI is also the other argument with AI. Sorry, I'm very verbose about this. If there was an AI program based off of my work to do my stuff, to gather a gallery of everything that I've drawn before, so then I can then produce more comics that are based off of my name, I don't think there's an issue with that. And the issue comes more in the theft of what would be termed copyrightable material, where not just the copyright of licensed characters, but copyright of styles. So, if there was an AI, somebody's using AI and they were capturing my work, my drawing style to produce their own comic book without paying me, I think that's where the issue is, right? So the same thing with a singer, like music. If there's a track that someone samples from a previous song into their newest 2023 hit song, they have to pay the previous artist royalties or money or licensing fees, right? So I think in AI, in terms of AI art, that should only be comparable. That if the AI is using my work or a group of artists' work to create their images, then there should be some royalties paid back.
Oh, for sure. That's only fair, especially if they're going to be using your image that you've currently already drawn from them. But yeah, I definitely think so. Got more people popping in chat. So Bronze actually has another. We can get off the question of AI for a while because I know CJ can talk about this for hours on end. But Bronze actually has a good question here. In light of recent events with Coffin and Melinda's comics, what do you think about the cosplay art covers using licensed characters without the rights to the original character?
What are the recent events of the Coffin Melinda comics?
I'm not entirely too sure. Bronze, would you like to elaborate on that? But I know a lot more people are getting into like the cosplay cover thing and getting exclusives with that.
So like Fumedi, where they would use a picture of a person in cosplay, and then that would be the cover.
Yes.
But then they would use it as licensed characters without the rights to the original character. I don't understand that part.
Yeah, would you like to elaborate, Bronze, if you're still in the chat?
Because if they're doing like retailer exclusive variants,
yeah,
where you can actually order your own, you can hire your own artist as a store or whatever designated retailer. I could go to a comic book publisher and say, I want Sean Chen to draw my own cover, and the minimum order is 2,000, and it's Iron Man, so I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Melinda's comics use Lady Death, a Coffin character, on one of their comic covers. Some suspect the artist is AI, but that's besides the point. Oh, so another company using. Sorry, I'm trying to fart, but it's burping.
It's okay. So here's a third part to this. So cosplayers are essentially supposed to be another character dressed up as a popular character owned by another company. Okay. But they literally just used the Lady Death character as their own cover. Got away with it? Or is Coffin Comics went after them for using the Lady Death imagery? Is that what's going on, Bronze?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to wade too much into it because I'm not exactly sure about too much of the specifics. Again, if you're a publisher that you feel like someone is using your property or licensed characters, you should be able to send out a quick cease and desist.
Oh, okay. So they drew her in cosplay, not an actual picture. Basically, they completely ripped off Lady Death IP. Oh, and the Coffin Comics is okay.
Yeah. So if they're
That makes
pursuing
sense.
legal action already, then
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I certainly don't condone theft. Uh,
Yeah.
I myself will not even watch or buy bootleg stuff. So, because I don't want theft of my own work. Um, so it, you know, when you're younger, you're like, oh, there's a bootleg video of this newest movie, especially in New York City where they're selling around the street corner. Like these DVDs of people sitting in a movie theater with a camcorder. Um, but ever since I started drawing comics professionally, I've always felt as a um, uh, very strongly about the concept of theft. So uh, I don't agree with it. Um, I try, I don't don't want to do any of it myself. So
Oh, that's good because we just got rid of like 5 questions that were in the chat because you just answered a lot of ones that were in there. So perfect. Um, Casual
they were
Hero
asking
said,
about bootlegs.
yeah, they were asking about swiping covers and theft and some other stuff. So yeah, you just answered a whole bunch of stuff that was already in there. And he said, you really appreciate what you do on Twitch. And Ryan Benjamin was telling me that it was you that got him to start streaming a bit too. Nice. Yeah, I like Ryan's streams. I like hopping in all of them. So I like when
Ryan
more of the comic creators do streams.
Ryan's from Florida, I think, and although we never crossed paths initially, it's kind of around the same time we all started. But Ryan's path took him from college out to the West Coast, so he was able to start right away with Jim Lee at Homage Wildstorm Studios. So he's had a storied career, and uh, and he's very exciting, very energetic, and it's exciting to watch him draw and talk at the same time. Earlier we're joking about Sean not drawing on stream and talking. It is something that you have to learn. Again, most artists were drawing. You learn to draw in privacy, in your own room, doors probably closed or locked, and you're just drawing. Anytime if someone's standing over your shoulder when you're drawing, you kind of tense up a little bit because there's a little pressure. Right
Yeah.
now, it's becoming a performance. But you get used to that. If you go once you start going to school, you're drawing with other students, you're drawing with a teacher or a model in front of you, and the more you do of that, the easier it becomes. It's a muscle that you do have to build. But Ryan is very good at teaching and expressing techniques,
Yeah.
expressing what he's thinking about when he's drawing something. And that's very important, I think, for a young artist, is to understand what maybe a professional's thinking or the thought process is, and then trying to adapt and mimic that. Some of that is finding what fits you as an artist, uh, finding if you're capable of making that leap in thought process or in design. And then the other whole component is just then spending enough time on your own perfecting it. So um, I equate that to, like, if anybody watches sports or has played sports, which a lot of artists don't. um, but for a professional athlete, they spend numerous tons of hours just in practice and training, and I relatively spend a very small amount of time in the actual game, which is what we see on TV. So a football player plays an NFL. An NFL game is 4 quarters, 15 minutes a quarter. Uh, so technically 1 hour. Is it 15 or 12? Uh, it's technically about an hour of gameplay, game
Yeah.
clock.
Each quarter's in a football is 25 minutes or yeah.
It's 20? I thought it was
Is
15.
15?
25 minutes?
No, 15. Because you got
Okay, yes.
halftime, which is at that 30
Right.
minute mark. Yeah.
So 30-minute mark and then another 30. So total, it's like 1 hour of game time that really counts when you're watching. But it takes 3 hours to play the game, right? Because you have
Yeah.
penalties and injuries, or you have stoppage in play. But in those 3 hours, that's what we see as the game. But we don't see the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday of practice in season to get to that Sunday 3 hour game or 1 hour game, technically. So as an artist, a lot of young artists tend to jump to the game because they want to do drawings that look finished, that look like, oh, I can be a professional. But what they do in that essence when they jump to the game and they overstep, they overlook a lot of the time spent practicing. That's where, if you can find a balance of the two, you can actually see greater improvement and more rapid improvement, and it's more of a dedication to the craft. So an athlete is not just a football player is not just uh, running plays, or quarterback's not just throwing, but is recognizing defenses, recognizing uh, your offense, your situational uh, plays. Um, there's all these other components. You're doing sit-ups, you're doing lifting weights, you're eating right. You can't just eat McDonald's all the time and look to have a lasting NFL professional football career, right? You have to eat healthy foods that generate energy, that cut out excess fat. So what does that translate to an artist? Um, you have to draw circles, you have to draw lines, you have to draw boring stuff that is not fun. You have to draw things that you're not good at. You can't just do repetitive, headshots because it's enjoyable. You have to look at it from an overall comprehensive perspective. What do you need to do to improve? How can you improve? What are areas? And then how can you improve at an efficient rate, um, so that you can then master a particular skill set and then move on and build and become even better. Um, that's why drawing comics is so hard. It is a very difficult profession. Comic Journey does not dislike you. Does
Yeah,
not dislike
that's
you.
a huge compliment coming from Comic Journey. Yeah.
Thank you, Comic Journey.
So I have a feeling he'll be at your table come New York Comic Con. So yeah, go check him out. Go check Jerry and Sean out when you're there. Um, uh, Casual Hero said a lot of artists saying how they want to get back to the studio environments that were back in the day. Yeah, I could see that. Good question from Shutterduck in here. Was Imagineering or working on comics more stressful?
I think comics is more stressful. That's a good question. I mean, Imagineering was a 9 to 5, or it's like more like 10 to 6 office environment. I had my own office. I had assignments. I also still had to procure work, even though I was a staff member. I would still have to allocate my hours um, every day, every week. Um, so I would have to get assigned different projects or try to get myself on projects. I was doing blue sky concept design, so it's basically you start with nothing and you have to come up with something to show. Whether and the idea that you come up with, you have to do the drawing or make a model or do a 3D write through, something that you can visually show other people that are not creatives, more like the business people. So the VPs or the corporate sponsors, so that they can understand the idea that's in your head, right? And then once they approve that, if they approve it, they allocate more funding, so that then essentially then I pass that job along to somebody else, who then kind of takes a look at the drawing and figures out what needs to be done to make it happen. And then I move on to the next new project. So it was a very kind of exciting position. It was scary because you're coming up with a lot of stuff out of the thin blue air. Thin air. You're trying to pull stuff out. You have to do a lot of research. You have to also have good life experiences that you can pull from. Um, and then ultimately stand in front of executives and talk and pitch and almost be like a salesman. So I got that job when I was 25, 24, 25. 25, I was working on a project for an entire year. And towards the end of that year, we had a big meeting, culminative meeting, to pitch to Michael Eisner, who was the CEO of Disney at the time. And there was only about 8 to 10 of us on that project. It was very secretive.
Wow.
And been working on it for a year, so I would have to go to the separate building to work on stuff. I would come back to my office to finish the work. But like whenever I go to lunch, like if we went to lunch and you were working at Disney, but you're not on my project and you're on, you're doing something else like Space Mountain or Autopia or something. And you're like, Bernard, hey, what are you working on? What are you working on these days? What are you doing this week? I would be like, well, I can't really talk about it, even though we're both Disney employees.
Wow, it's very NSA.
It was very secretive. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, because the idea is that Disney builds most of their ideas from ground up, in-house, right? And so let's say, K-pop, I'm doing this thing about a parrot, a bird pooping on a guy's shoulder, and I think that would be the coolest ride. You hear it next week, you get an offer to go to Universal, right?
Oh.
You go to Universal and you're like, hey, I have this idea for a bird pooping on your shoulder ride, and then Universal is able to build it faster. Then Disney loses all its money in terms of paying me or funding for development, right? So it was very secretive. And so eventually I just ended up not going to lunch with people because it was just, I can't talk about any of this stuff. Right. So on that end, is that stressful? Yeah. You can't
very
really,
stressful. Yeah.
Right. But once it was like, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, you go home. I'd be like, wow, I'm bored. What can I do? Right. If you can't finish it, I finish it tomorrow. So I had all this extra free time on my hands at night or on the weekends. Whereas a freelancer, you're drawing comics or even any other kind of freelance, you're kind of working around the clock. There are no like paid vacations. If you're not working, you're not making money. And in comics too, it's when the project is over, what's your next project? Like right now, I'm in kind of a transitional stage right now in terms of I finished Jean Grey. I finished Monkey Prince earlier this year. I have a couple projects that are kind of in the burners, but still negotiating. Might not enjoy the terms, might not like the terms, or certain projects, excuse me, have positives, some have negatives. Which ones to take? What is the right direction to go? How would that, if I take this one book on, which is going to lock me up for 2 or 3 months, how would that affect my career? How would that affect my career for now and then for 2 or 3 years down the road? If one of the big fears is like if you jump from one of the big two, meaning Marvel, DC, and you go to another company, will you be forgotten, or will you be able to come back?
That's a good question.
There's also the issues of rates, where you go back to the guy earlier mentioned, like overseas artists, right? So there's a thought of, well, you get priced out, right? Because my rate is at a certain level, right? and this is not just like overseas, but like younger guys can come in, and they come in at a lower rate. Um, are they going to be able to do the same quality? Are they going to be as reliable? That's up in the air. Who knows? But sometimes there is that component. So, and in the market itself, also getting the rate that you feel you should be paid for a project. Again, is another cost. So it's very stressful. I think all of it is stressful. I think comics is probably a little bit more because at Disney, you get a check every 2 weeks, every Thursday, I think it was. Although
It's, yeah,
once
because
my
it's more like a
contract ended,
regular job type thing. Yeah.
yeah, but I did have at Disney I did have a contract. So once my second contract ended, um, I was let go. So um, there's also that aspect where in a corporate structure, you could get let go at any time as well. So it's not a guarantee that you're going to be working. But as far as pay, I knew every 2 weeks I was going to get X amount of money in. Drawing comics, it's all based on how much you perform. If you take a week off or a few weeks off, you're not getting paid in that time. So then the money gets pushed back. You also have to have other ancillary resources of money coming in. So it can be a little bit more stressful.
Okay. So Comics Dirty wants to know, would you ever go back to working as an Imagineer?
I thought about it. It was definitely a tremendous experience. I have certain regrets during some of that, but I also have a lot of like positives. And Disney was for me was a great company to work with, and I learned a tremendous amount. I often look back. I don't know if Sean's still on, and this is very personal. Like so, when I left Valiant, I did a couple projects for Marvel and DC before I jumped to Disney. And so during that time was in the late 90s, 97, 96, 97. So I jumped to Disney, and Sean had stayed at Marvel. And so oftentimes I think about, wow, if I had just stayed in comics, how would my career look differently now than if I had left and went to Disney for a few years and then came back. So, but I don't know if I would ever be able to work in an office environment in a 9 to 5 kind of scenario or 10 to 6 or whatever they call it nowadays. But I have flirted with it. And there's a lot of perks that come with Disney or like a corporate job like Disney, like an Imagineer. You get a fast pass. No, sorry, not
Ooh,
a silver pass. A silver
cool.
pass. So
Ooh.
that allows you, I think, 20 something times to go into any Disney you want throughout the year, and you can bring
Dang.
4 people with you every time. Of which, when I was there, I hardly ever used it. And then there's other things like Disney has its own sports league, right? It has its own
What?
softball league, basketball league, because there's so many employees in California that it's able to run a lot of its own kind of internal what do you call it employee kind of
Functions and stuff.
functions. Yeah, so they
Yeah.
on the weekends, if you were ever bored, they would have like free movie screenings, free
Oh,
opportunities to volunteer.
awesome.
Um, a lot of different kind of just perks for employees. So
Well, that's cool. I know JD's here and he goes to Disney a lot actually, so he's there like a lot of the times. So that's actually interesting. I know they do like the 5K and then like the Disney runs where you can go there and run around the park and they're like all themed and stuff. That would be really fun to do. but to have like your own like sports team and like pack just for working there, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, like rec leagues. So there's always like there's stuff to do like outside of work,
Oh,
to kind of bond with your other coworkers and stuff. And
Disney intramural sports.
yeah,
Interesting. That's cool. Uh, JD actually has a question. He wants to know: would you do any Disney independent projects like J. Scott Campbell and Noah do?
what do they do?
Uh, Campbell does a lot of like the Disney princess stuff and Tinkerbell and stuff like that. And he'll do like covers, and then he'll do like the figures for them.
But are those
Uh,
for Disney or are those for more independent companies?
I'm not entirely sure.
Because
JD,
Disney, I don't
what
think
are they for?
owns like Cinderella or Snow White.
No, but they are the imagery of the Disney
Hmm.
versions. So,
Okay.
but I know he releases them as Disney versions. I think because they're the actual legit sculptures and things for them. What's up, Spooky? What's up? Camel and Sean did covers. Yeah, those for those. Yeah, so they do prints and canvas for Disney. Interesting. So would you ever do a project like that if it was comic related for Disney?
Yeah, I don't really have any qualms about it as long as the pay's good.
Yeah.
So, um,
It doesn't interfere with any other jobs. Yeah.
right. And um, yeah.
Interesting. You know someone doing covers for Disney. You're not sure if you could talk about it. His style is not very Disney. Well, Trish Forstner does covers for Disney. She does Scar, she does the Darkwing Duck and all that kind of stuff, and then she does a few other ones. So she's been working on that a lot recently, and a few other people have been getting in there and doing some exclusives. So that's been fun seeing people branch out and getting some of that stuff. Shady. And also, good question, CJ. Did you meet Mickey Mouse?
Um, I've never met Mickey Mouse while I was working there.
Oh no.
At least I don't recall. I met
Uh-oh.
Mickey Mouse grad night for high school,
Oh, dang. Oh, that
and
good.
I've been backstage. So backstage at the parks where we would actually hold some meetings underneath the interventions. There's a few bunch of office conference rooms
Uh-huh.
specifically tailored for like bring corporate sponsors in, so we can do kind of like a corporate meeting initially, and then maybe do a quick tour around the park to kind of show them where this new ride would kind of be, and what it would be about, how it would integrate with that section of the park. Um, so yeah, I mean, backstage is fun. It's very different than when you're in the cast area, the normal park area.
Interesting.
And they would have very specific rules, like they would have pins. Everybody had these name pins, right? Lapels or pins with your name on it. And
Very
at
formal.
Imagineering, you're supposed to wear them all the time. But when you go to the parks, if you're not working at the park as a cast member, but you're there for like a meeting or something, then you have to take the pin off because they didn't want to confuse guests when they're in the experience, when they're in the Disneyland or Disney World experience. They didn't want a guest to come up to me and say, "Hey, where's the restroom?" And I'd be like, "Oh, I don't know." So they're very specific about certain things, um, which
They
is
keep it
very
very
interesting.
professional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very segmented, very compartmentalized, um, and very professional. Very like they have building rights too. They have like these folders of like research of like data of
Dang.
people through every hour, every day, how much they're spending,
Keeping
uh,
track.
where they stay, all this stuff. So some of the rides, when you're working on it, you have to like read through all this stuff um, to get an idea of scope of how much people actually come through the parks. Uh, back when I was there, they just instituted a thing called Fast Pass. I think I mentioned this earlier. It came up blurb earlier, but Fast Pass was a method where people were complaining about waiting in line for hours to get on a ride. And so Disney's solution was to give people a ticket, reservation ticket. You could basically walk up to Space Mountain, get a ticket. Let's say it's 1 o'clock. You get a ticket and say, come back at 2:30, and you have no more than a 15-minute wait. Um, and then that frees up your time from standing in line to go experience another smaller ride that might be kind of free, that you can do that in an hour, right? Wait half an hour, go on a ride, 5, 10 minutes, and then come back out and maybe hang out and chill or go to another smaller attraction. So it also frees up traffic in the park. The primary reason also was that if you're out in the park and you're not waiting in line, you're going to have an opportunity to buy something to drink.
Yeah, way more merch also.
Maybe. Yeah, so an increase of 25-cent revenue per person amounted to like hundreds of millions of dollars additional revenue for the parks. So it was a win-win for everybody, I think. But in design, there's always a learning curve. So what they found in the first year or so of implementation, when they implemented the Fast Pass system, people would get the ticket for the 2:30, and they would just wait outside of Space Mountain in the vicinity because they didn't want to lose their spot in line because they weren't used to this concept of coming back because they're so born, so impounded on them to wait in line for that ride that they had to have then hired Disney cast members to stand there and explain, no, you can go to another ride. Your spot is safe. Go and ride, the smaller rides. It's a Small World, or go somewhere else, and then come back, and you'll still have your spot in line. So it took a little while for that to actually catch on, which is interesting. I mean, it's like human nature or human psychology.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think a lot of people have the Fast Pass and use it, but I know CJ had a rough time with it when he went down to Florida this past time. Hopefully the next time you go back, CJ, you do not have such a rough time. And Kevin P. West says, Jay Foskett here in Michigan does work for Disney. And first of all, I know. He's right here. This is Jay right here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's Jay.
Nice.
That's a sketch for his book here. He does the Fraggle Rock series for them right here. Boom. But yeah, that's Jay.
Awesome.
Local artist here. And JD wanted to know, did you get access to Club 33 when you worked there?
I had one meal in Club 33 in
Ooh.
Disneyland. So it was early on. I think we were there for a meeting, and then the VP of the project invited me to lunch. And we got like a little corner window that overlooked into the park. So it was nice. It was nice. I think at the time I didn't really appreciate it as much. But looking back, definitely was an experience. So
it sounds like you had a good time, especially a good learning experience there as well, which probably actually helped you get when you're in the comics and you appreciate comics more when you're doing the art because you did the 10 to 6 type job, and it helps you probably want to do the comic thing more in like a full-time job.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely got my ability to keep secrets up, skill up. Like in comics, if you tell someone, next day it's going to be like blabbered over somewhere else. Like nobody can keep a secret in comics. But definitely in the entertainment business, there is a bigger lid on the jar.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So JD says he would love to see you do some Disney work. So if you were to do art on a Disney book, what characters would you want to do a book for?
You mean like one of the Disney cartoons, or
Cartoons or any of
I
the
mean,
properties
technically
really.
Marvel's Disney, so
Technically, Marvel is Disney, but yeah, any non-Marvel. Well, you can do really any Marvel,
mm,
any Disney really.
I don't know. A few years ago, I did a Prince of Persia, which is not really Disney, but it was published by Hyperion, and then in that
Ooh.
book was a lion story. I forgot, but I remember being so mesmerized by it because it was drawn like somewhat realistically, but in a still animated kind of style. Um, I don't really know which. I don't really have any kind of favorite Disney, kind of
Uh,
Disney primetime or mainstream Disney favorite characters. Um, yeah.
okay, that's cool. So, Real Rude isn't here, and today it's his birthday. So I will ask his question for you.
Okay. Happy belated birthday.
Yes, he'll probably watch it on the rewind. So his infamous question is, what superhero are you going to kill, and how are you going to kill them, and they cannot come back? Yes, I know.
In the Jean Grey book?
Any book of all time. Yeah, any
Oh,
character, anywhere,
because
anytime.
in the Jean Grey book, technically she's dead, but
Oh, okay.
um, but then you will see at the end of the series. Uh,
Mm. Mm.
to kill any character and to have them
Yeah, they're
remain dead.
gone, dead.
Yeah, but it's comics. They always come back like a year later. That's why
This is
whenever
true.
like for
Yeah,
me, whenever they announce like the death of a character and there's all this fan outrage, I'm like, come on, like they're gonna come back in another
this is
year
also
or
true.
two.
There's always another universe or something where they're always back, and they're like, "Oh, guess what? He came back from the
Right.
dead."
Now with
Yeah.
now, especially now that the multiverse is so popular in kind of the current storylines, there's gonna be a different version. Um, yeah.
Yes, but
Uh,
that's Rude's power though. So in his universe, when you're killing them, they're gone. They cannot come back. So,
Captain Marvel Kree is still dead.
oh,
Oh, that's from the old X-Men series.
oh, we only had to wait a week for Kamala Khan to come back. That's true. Yeah, but you can get creative with it too. Mm,
I don't
yeah,
really dislike any character in particular. I used to really love when I was a young kid. It's kind of weird. I used to really love Doctor Strange for some reason, but only like the visual design of Doctor Strange, because he had this hood that kind of came around, and he had like all these different
yeah. It's
uh,
a very
you know.
sexy movements. Yeah, imagery.
Um, but then I actually read a Doctor Strange comic, and I was like, this is not for me. I really liked how there was like a lot of ornate designs around him, but
Yeah.
I was reading like, "Oh, I'm not really that into magic." I kind of found out. So, uh, I don't know. Maybe Doctor Strange,
Oh, okay. So how is he
but
gonna
I
bite the
would,
big one? Yeah,
yeah, but I wouldn't really like, you know.
interesting. Doctor Strange started off as Asian. Interesting.
Was he Asian? I didn't know that. I mean, I knew uh, maybe that's why I was attracted to it initially. I don't know.
Possibly. What's up, Phil? And yeah, you're dropping the spoon. Yeah, he just did art based off a spoon. Yeah, that was actually very sexy, by the way. And Kaz is saying a character that you could kill because you never want to draw them ever again. Okay, that's another
Oh,
twist. That's
okay.
another twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, go with that route. Yeah.
By the way, thank you, Kevin P. West, for that Sam Laporta recommendation. He's now my starting tight end in all three fantasy leagues.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah. You're super into the fantasy football as well because we have a couple people in chat that run their own fantasy leagues. So yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah. How are you doing in your league? Are you kicking some
Uh,
ass?
the main league that's like $500 is I'm 3-1.
Oh,
The other two leagues I'm 2-2. So
Okay,
one is a
not so
keeper
good.
league that I'm playing
Yeah.
in since late 90s. That league we've been playing in when we first started the first year or two, we had to wait until Monday for the newspaper. I mean, this is how old it
Dang.
was, right?
Well,
The newspaper come out, you would buy the newspaper, add up yourself all the stats in the stats section in the back of the newspaper, then phone in and call in your score to the commissioner, who would then verify on his end.
whoa,
Uh, so it was
that is
very old school back then.
hefty math to be doing. Uh, yeah. Way to go on your recommendation, Kev. Nice.
Yeah. So as far as like a character to draw, that was like, uh, I don't know about like single characters. Like the the more difficult books to draw, comic books, is are team books. Um,
Teams.
Not so much like a single character. Most are because you have to fit in, X number of characters on every page. Because a lot of times it's multiple characters, whereas a solo book, I mean, there's different characters, not just one, but um, your base is only like one or two. So a lot of that time is the filling in interstitial, even though a character might not be talking for a couple panels, you still have to draw them in there because they can't magically disappear and reappear a scene later. But I don't really, can't really think of any character specific that I would hate to draw. Um,
Okay.
this Jean Grey book was sorry.
Yeah.
This Jean Grey book was difficult in a sense that it had a lot of referencing. I had to look up, like they sent me a ton of reference, reading reference and just reference specific to the book. Um, and I would have to go back and look at different things. Like even there's an upcoming scene where and Madeline Pryor and Scott Summers gets married. But then, if you Google search that, they'll also come up with when Scott Summers actually marries Jean Grey. And they're actually in different outfits, like different wedding gowns, different Scott's wearing a different suit. And, so all that stuff you have to like figure out because I know someone's going to complain about um, a specific moment if I don't get it correctly. Um, yeah.
Ooh. So Kev also says he should have got you to get Puka also.
Yeah, I did pick up Puka in my keeper league, so he's been playing. So we'll see how well he does this week too. With Cooper Cup is back. So
Yeah.
the thing with like fantasy football is like everybody talks like as if they know everything, but then you never know. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah. I hear people talking about all the time, and honestly, I can't figure that out because it's like so much math and it's like points and then like things, and then people get injured and that screws up your whole thing, and it's like
yeah,
I don't. Yeah, it's crazy.
like in my keeper league last year, you could trade draft picks, and you have to keep 4 players every year, so it's makes it a little bit more realistic. Um, I traded away 6 draft picks last year for Christian McCaffrey, and hoping to make a playoff run last year, and I just missed it because another player got hurt. Well, so this year I have no picks in the first 6 rounds, and I'm actually ranked number 1 right now, still. So
Wow, you're doing pretty good. So Kev is saying he does not want to do Galactus because it's all tech all the time. I can get that. Mechs are kind of hard to do, and so I give major props to Sean. Also, Sean, I saw that comic, so if there is ever a Kickstarter that anybody should back, it would be Evermind. Go check that out, Sean. Yes, I saw what you did back there, Sean. Shutterrock has a really good question. Now that you've conquered Monkey King, aka Monkey Prince, is there any other characters or stories you'd like to work on drawing from the Asian mythology or the epics or the legends from the lore from Asian mythology?
um, yes and no. So yes, I mean Monkey King, Monkey Prince was extremely dear to my heart. As many of you on chat would know, because I've talked about it a million times. You know, my father used to read to me bedtime stories from Journey to the West, Monkey King. And so I would go to sleep as a 7, 8, 9-year-old kid, uh, imagining these wild adventures. Back then, the book was only words, believe it or not. Um, excuse me. And it was only in Chinese, so I couldn't read Chinese. So I had to imagine all of these things. As far as other stories or characters, yes, I don't know honestly too many other ones. Um, but I'm open to finding out. I've had a lot of people come up to me since Monkey Prince has come out and told me about other uh, stories, Asian stories that they've kind of grown up with or very familiar with. And so I do think that there's always room for expansion and also just for me learning about other stories and then possibly drawing them. I've actually talked with, I've had discussions before about uh, starting a line of comics based around more Asian mythological or
Ooh,
stories. Um, so we'll see where that goes. It's still in the very early stages of like planning.
that would be very cool. That's something that I'm interested in because I adore mythology and I adore Asian lores and stuff. So I read a lot into that. And Kevin wants to know: is there any other mythology that you might be interested in? I just find all that fascinating.
Well, I drew Demon Knights for DC Comics for a little bit, and I actually had a ton of fun with Demon Knights. Whereas before, I didn't really think I would be into it, because as part of research, started watching Game of Thrones. I think that was out like right around that, or it started coming out. Sean, I remember, had told me about Game of Thrones, like, "Oh, you got to watch this," and I was like, I'm not really kind of into that, uh, But started watching it for research. I remember watching Your Highness. Um, that movie was hilarious.
That
And
movie is amazing. Yeah, that's a great one.
so I really had a lot of fun drawing. And actually, going back to what's like more difficult to draw, like Demon Knights, the difficult part of Demon Knights were the animals, like horses to be specific. Mainly just because I don't get an opportunity to draw horses that often. And so it was a lot of catch up. And so I would think like the first, I don't even think I got to draw horses well at the end, but I got to draw it at least a little bit competently, in a sense where I didn't have to have pictures up on my computer monitor while I'm drawing. Um, but early on, like the horses were like, oof, they're like way too small, or their legs were kind of weird.
Ooh.
Um, so not so much like drawing specific characters, but some of the books themselves uh, find difficult. As I mentioned, teen books earlier. Another book that probably I would actually love to draw Spider-Man, but I would think that it's my version of Spider-Man would be New York City has to take a tremendous role in that. And just the thought of drawing all those buildings at different perspectives, different angles, filling in all the details, to me would just be like a headache. Like, um, it would be a great challenge, but it would just be, I would have no life. So, um,
That seems like a tremendous amount of extra work with all the background details and all that little stuff.
yeah, because I've actually thought about like Spider-Man storylines and Spider-Man drawing what a Spider-Man comic would be like. And like when you read the comic, when you watch the movies, a lot of times I mean, he's right up on you. But in the reality, in a real sense of a Spider-Man, a lot of times people wouldn't even notice him because he's so small, climbing up a building,
Oh,
right,
that's
in the
true.
distance
Yeah.
or swinging. It really kind of hit when the revamped Battlestar Galactica came out, and they had a lot of shots of aerial shots of the Raptor or the Viper jets, and they would like you'd be right in on the cockpit, and then like they zoom out, and you see like how small like the ship was in space in comparison to other things, right? And so I said, yeah, that is exactly what I'm thinking about in terms of Spider-Man. Is that in reality, a lot of the stuff that we think or that we're consuming is all up in us in terms of the shots or drawings. But in reality, if there was a civilian on the street looking up in New York City, you probably wouldn't even notice a lot of that stuff happening.
This is another good one. Preston wants to know, would you want to do a heroic fantasy series like Game of Thrones? I could see you nailing some like Oriental heroes like Storm and Cloud, Storm Warriors, Storm Riders, or like Dynasty Warriors or Romance of Three Kingdoms. That would be pretty epic. That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I was up to a few years ago. There was consideration of drawing a Game of Thrones comic,
Oh,
but it just
interesting.
didn't work out like schedule wise. But yeah, no, it'd be fun. I mean, I definitely think um, because it's organic. Here's the other thing: the component between like a city-based comic, or an organic fantasy-based is like, even though in a fantasy you have a castle or you have a wooden carriage, everything is organic. Um, so it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. It doesn't have to be a perfect line, square up, especially castles because it's like rocks and bricks. But if you're drawing a building, you're drawing a car, it has to be very, very specific. To cheat perspectives or to warp perspectives is extremely difficult and somewhat time consuming. So,
Yeah. Like Yojimbo was saying here, some artists would photocopy photos of New York skyline and paste it into the pages, probably because it would just be too tedious to draw crazy backgrounds all the time.
I think a lot of artists started doing that in the late 90s. They would do like a lot of like Photoshop filters. And you could tell nowadays the Photoshop filters are so nice.
Oh yeah.
It looks they have a way to making it look very hand drawn. I've used some of Sean's cityscapes in my,
Oh my.
you know,
He killed it in Evermind, by the way, with his cityscapes and all of his line work. So if you guys have not checked that out, go check that out because it is pretty amazing. Hold on, let me.
I think there's a week left or 10 days or how many days left in there.
I think it goes to the end of the month almost. It's
Oh, okay.
pretty, yeah, because they were running almost a whole extra month. But yeah, they're kicking ass on that. They did pretty awesome so far.
Yeah.
I know they hit over 25K so far. So
Right.
way to go, Sean. Way to go, Sean and Daniel on that. Kicking ass, dudes. Where did I leave off? Also, yeah, Jimbo. Speaking of Nightwing, there's the wet dick that I won from you.
Oh,
Yeah, hubba. Yeah. There's my also you do dudes justice. You make them super sexy. Just saying. You make them very hubba-licious. Let's go. He's all
I don't
hot.
remember drawing that.
It was like a year, maybe 2 ago. I don't even remember. It's wild.
And that's the old Nightwing outfit too.
I know. It was. Oh, I think this was the George Perez week
Oh, okay.
for Battle of the Sketches. Yeah, it was a while ago, man. It was not over a year ago. But yeah. Yes. He's all in the rain, all saucy and sassy. But yeah.
I think that was
there
my
you go.
rain phase where I drew a lot
Yeah.
of characters in rain.
Super rain. Yeah, there we go. You can see
Yeah.
some of the rain. There he is. Check out the line work. Check out the studliness. Yeah, no, you do Jude's all super studly, by the way. Yeah. Yeah. Where's Court? Because I know Court loves that.
Horse Nightwing.
Horse Nightwing.
Yeah, I drew a horse Nightwing. The horse head is easy to draw. It's just connecting the head to the neck to the torso or the body of the horse. I think that's the difficult part.
Green Lantern horse drawings again. Yes. And then what did you say? Just saw that.
And then also just the sheer scale of horses compared next to a human.
Oh, they're gigantic.
Some horses are huge, but then a lot of artists when they draw them almost comparable like pony size. So
yeah.
I mean, horses are massive, and they were so useful in battle was because they're so big. They can just like
Yeah.
you know,
They're like
run over.
super muscular too.
Right.
Like have a lot of muscles. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Oh, Yojimbo says 12 days to go. Yeah, 12. Yeah, because I would put that into the 20s. Yeah, somewhere in the 20s where it ends. Yeah. Nice. So it is coming up to almost 2 hours. I told you we were gonna start chatting, and
wow.
holy shit. Bernard needs to start writing dates on his art. Yeah. I told you wanted to see sexy night. Like I knew it. Wet dick is back. Haha. There you go, Court. Let me make you big again. Let me make myself big again. There you go. All for you, Court. Hubba hubba. Yes.
Hubba.
Here you go.
Hold on, Court. Before Courtney.
Aha. No, she was there in chat. We both dubbed this wet dick. So
yeah. Okay.
This was before she joined on stream though. To Court. There you go. Smoochies. Mwah. Yeah. All right. I know I have so many questions like in chat, but I know you wanted to keep this shorter because you have a buttload of commissions and you have a bunch of work to do. So how dare you? Oh, snap. She was there. I know. It was terrible. She wanted that also. I know. That's why I was giving you smooches, Court. Thanks, Miss So. Yeah, I know, right? Romance with different games would be great. Yes, thank you for stopping by. I'm so glad you did, by the way.
Hey, Dr. Midnight.
She was in stream. I know you were there. Yeah, so let me ask a couple other questions real quick before you jump in here. Let's see. Glenn wanted to know, where'd this go? Oh, this is a good one from Figure Drawing. If you could choose to have one mainstream superpower, what would it be and why is it invulnerability? Ooh.
Invulnerability? Oh. Yeah. I don't know if it'd be invulnerability. I would think I thought about this. It's like maybe the ability to stop time.
Ooh. Interesting.
So that I can get a lot of work done.
Okay.
Or go to sleep, like rest.
Oh. Ooh, that would be a good one. Yes. Could stop time and just sleep. Oh man, I'd get so much done if I could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it would either stop time or stop time to sleep or stop time to work. So I get a whole bunch of work done, and then start time again.
Yeah, I like that.
But would that be the same as super speed? Which I don't think it would be.
No, I would say because you're in your own little dimensional thing when you stop time, because you're going to come out of the bubble and be back to the same time when you come out of the bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'd be its own separate thing. So yeah. Yeah.
Because my lifestyle in the last couple of years have been when I'm here in LA, I'm like, I go out, I make sure I have enough food for like a week or two, and then I just lock myself in and just work. Basically wake up, work, go to sleep, eat, go to sleep. And so sometimes I won't even get the mail for like a week or two. But I thought about it. It gets slower when you get older. There's aches and pains. Eye vision's kind of gone. There's different like ailments. Like you see, like I tape up my finger.
Oh no.
And that's mainly when I'm holding a pen. You know, I'm pushing down on this joint here.
Yeah, I literally have that tape right here.
Yeah, so I have to once I tape it, I can draw nonstop, no pain. But if I don't tape it, after 15, 20 minutes, it does get irritated, agitated. And just a little bit of tape makes it like I can draw forever. Now, what's this done is also because I wear this tape so much. It's athletic tape. After every few days, I'll throw out and get a new one. It's rubbed off the fingerprints, so I don't have any fingerprints on my index finger.
Interesting.
So whenever you go through travel, you have to put in your fingers for like fingerprint ID at the machines at customs. They always can't get this one. So
ha ha ha. Oh. Shh.
Maybe there's a story in that.
Sneaky. Yeah. Get away with a lot of stuff. Just saying. This is also an interesting one because if you had that power, you would be like in a bubble thing until you wake up and probably undo it. So I would say it would stay up because you're not releasing your power type thing. So I would say you could sleep in that bubble sphere
Well,
thing.
it is a pretty important. I mean, if the ability to stop time, the question would be, what is the sphere of influence?
Yeah.
Is it just within? Is it the entire Earth stops, or is it like just the initial, 1 or 2 block radius? It would stop, and then you can go and get a bunch of stuff done. I mean, I think it's like time stops altogether, but that would be like probably a tremendous superpower where if you can stop the entire Earth or the entire world or known
Yeah.
existence, um,
Because
the,
there's a couple of superheroes that have the ability to stop time. So are they stopping time everywhere, or is it just
yeah,
like within like a few feet?
who are the superheroes that can stop time?
Oh geez, you can't for life of me remember, but yeah, there's a couple that can. But I don't know. I'm tired, so I can't think right now. It's gonna be Gojo. Also, he says if you hadn't fallen reality, he wouldn't need the tape. Ooh,
Well, I
yeah.
just I also don't want to live forever.
Yeah, true. So I don't want to be super ancient and like punched over, wrinkly.
Invulnerability, would that affect my emotional sensibilities?
Ooh, also good question. Yeah, see, Frog says he thinks it stops everything everywhere universally. Yeah, see, I would also think that it would have to, because if you have the power to stop that, it would have to be everywhere, because you can't just have somewhere across the world keep going, because then that would screw up your timeline, because then you'd be here and they'd be running there. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Well, you'd get discovered pretty quickly in a sense
Yes,
where
true. Yeah.
as the other Earth moves, but that would be an interesting story.
Yeah. But also
I mean,
probably couldn't be you probably couldn't be in there for super long though. You'd probably have to have a time limit, because you couldn't be in there for like 100 years or whatever, then unstop time, then go back to that same time. You know what
yeah,
I
I
mean?
think,
Yeah.
I mean, so ultimately, then that would really just only be good for like petty theft, right? You
Petty theft.
stop time
Yeah, well,
outside of
you
a
don't
bank.
have fingerprints on one finger already, so you're already halfway there.
Yeah, so I just have to use this to like
Yeah, just that
scoop up,
one. Yeah.
um,
just do that.
but
The
you don't
change.
have, so if you stop time around a bank, like around a couple square blocks in the city, and everybody just freezes, then you can run in, pull out the
Yeah.
cash, run out with your bag with a
See,
dollar sign
no,
on it.
this is no, because this is where you get your friend that has superhuman speed strength that can't be caught on cam, and you get them to run and grab all the stuff and come out, and then you undo the time thing because they won't be caught on cam,
Well, the,
even though
the
it's
camera
frozen.
would technically
It
freeze at that
would,
moment.
yeah, but just in case, you don't know. You want to be fast enough, anyways. But you don't know. Yes, yeah, would have to be everywhere. Yeah, see, people are in line with this. I like this. Hmm. Yeah, but how long does the time stop work also? And this is coming from a promiscuous time traveler who has gone back in time about 1 billion times. Yes.
Right. I don't think it's to stop time is not immortality because it's really just to stop time to have experiences that you might not have time to do.
Yeah.
But ultimately, immortality is like living forever.
Yeah.
Where I think if you were immortal, you would have like you wouldn't really care about time. You would just, days would be like weeks would be like
Hmm.
days, months would be like weeks,
Interesting.
right? Because well, why do something today when you have tomorrow or the next week to figure it out?
This
Um,
is also interesting too, because if you stop time, you would continue to age, but everybody around you would not continue to age. So technically, you would continue to age faster.
yeah, you would
Less.
still age, I think,
Yeah.
Um,
You're 350 years old. I believe it. I believe it. Ah, you don't age while time is stopped. You're just in a weird time bubble sphere thing. Okay. I can get around that because everything else is stopped around you. I can get around that. It's a loophole thing. Okay.
mm.
No, we did not. You did not miss any good farts. There have been no farts today. It's
I
terrible.
haven't been able to squeeze anything out. Everything's coming back
Nothing.
up.
Yeah, it's going up the other way, not the other way. Yeah.
Nope, I'm not feeling it right now.
Nothing today. Damn.
I'm
Next
sorry.
time. Oh, good question. What happens if you die when you stop time and it's frozen? Do that mean the moment you die, your power is reversed and it undoes everything, or did everybody stuck frozen in time?
I think it would be if you die, the time
Power
would
goes away.
would come back, right?
Interesting. Yeah. So if you die in there, does that mean you're stuck in that dimensional thing and you can't come out? Your body's stuck in there, or is like you'll be plopped on the ground wherever you're at?
Or you're frozen.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I think it would be.
I like this. Where's this going? I mean, if age equals passing of time and time isn't passing, interesting. Interesting. There has to be a next time you demand farts. Okay.
There's no fart counter. There should be like a fart counter
Oh,
on the
I gotta
corner.
add that. I'll have to add that. Yeah. Damn.
That's-
Okay.
See,
I don't know
oh,
if you noticed, but check this out. I did add a little turd down here, and I added your Cyclops blowing up the pink turd. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
okay, no, false alarm. I
First
felt a
line. Yeah.
a
Oh.
little
Damn.
rumbling.
Yeah. Bye, John. I hope you have a good dinner. See you later. So yeah, no, it's been 2 hours. So
Okay,
yeah,
any more questions? Is that it?
there's a lot of questions in there, but I will save you the pain of
Okay.
answering 30 questions. But if anybody has a quick question, real quick, you want to plop that down in here, we can answer one or two,
Wow, that
maybe.
2 hours passed by real quick.
I know. I told you it was gonna go fast. Like we could get chatting, and then bam, it's 2 hours later. There's a certain distance from a black hole where time does not exist. Interesting.
Like, do you believe in
Ah,
aliens?
aliens are a fun question, a fun topic because there's got to be somewhere out there in the billions of universe, somewhere out there. You can't be the only person on the planet. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. Yes, he has been here, and I have 26 starred questions in the thing, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are not hit. So 20 questions starred in there are not in there. But I will ask what Glenn's question because I have not asked it. Oh,
Did you
did
hear
you hear
that?
that? We heard that. Yes, nice. Tutoronies, nice. Amazing. Glenn, I hope you were here for that. The counter has gone up 1. What is your favorite film of all time? Yes.
Favorite film of all time? Well, if I told you that, that would be one of the answers to my credit card.
Okay. What is your least favorite film of all time?
One of my most favorite films recently, or a film that I have watched more times than I've wanted to, is probably Encino Man.
Oh my god, I love that movie. That's the best.
Right?
Yeah.
Not my favorite movie, but I just happen to see it whenever it's on TV. I just end up watching it. It's like just kind of agreeable. It's not really anything. It's kind of light. It's not very heavy. You kind of know what's going to happen. Um, it has Pauly Shore in it. I'm not a huge Pauly Shore fan, but
Brendan
um,
Fraser is also in
Brandon
it.
Fraser plays Encino Man.
It's good stuff in there. It's good music in there. Weird outfits. It was good times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Court also says that was dangerously juicy. You might need to check your pants later.
I do have to. I have to change actually in a little bit. So.
Yikes. Shutter wants to know what was the last prank you played on Sean?
Oh, last prank we played on Sean? I don't know. We played a couple fun pranks on Sean at San Diego. I think I told this one on Twitch. Sean is, nicest guy in the world. Super like unconfrontational. And we're just like, all right, we're gonna. So John, Tommy, and we like pooled together some money, and we went to a fan. We said, hey, can you go and commission a drawing from Sean? We'll give you this money, and ask him for a sketch. And then when you pick it up, like in front of him, give like a disgruntled face and then rip up the drawing just to see, what his reaction would be. The guy did it, and we all stood around. I think this was, well, was there like, this was before the iPhone, so we didn't really we didn't think about capturing it on video. But yeah, so someone ripped up a piece of artwork that Sean drew in front of him.
Oh shit.
And Sean just laughed and sat back down, and we're like, oh, and afterwards we all felt bad because then it's like, but we wanted to try to elicit some kind of like reaction from Sean because he's just so nice.
He is super duper nice. So he just kind of giggled. So what did the guy do? Did he at least pick up the pieces?
The
and
guy
take
felt
the
bad
pieces?
too. I think he looked. I remember him. He just
Oh.
looked very awkward. He didn't really want to do it.
Oh no.
He
Poor
kind
kid.
of like, you know, tweaked his arm, and
Aw.
but I think at the end of the day, you know, it was just a gag.
Oh man. Court says, "Oh my god, you're so mean." And then Shutter says, "Damn." Yeah. Harsh, bro. I hope that kid is still buying
Sean was
art
putting a
from
lot of
people.
work into the drawing too.
Yeah.
I think I remember he was like, I was like, Sean, because he likes to put a lot of extra effort. And I'm like, Sean, just finish it. Don't worry about it. I felt bad. I was like, it's gonna get rid, you know, just finish it. Just give.
Oh
You know.
shit. What was the art piece? Do you remember what it was about? What was it?
I don't remember.
Oh shit. I hope the kid at least took the ripped up pieces. Did he rip it up in a bunch of pieces or just like ripped it in half?
I think just in half.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's supposed to be bad. You could.
It was a while ago. It was a while ago. I mean, we told him right afterwards. Yeah. Because we were all like hiding around like little schoolgirls, like around the corner. Like,
you guys are such buttholes. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Also, ooh, yeah, Kev, you remember this one? Yeah, the straight up buttholes. They put on some shenanigans when they get together. I'm telling you. You saw, you know, man, in the theaters. Also, Glenn says in the UK it was called California Man, not Encino Man.
Not Encino. Why? Why not? Why not Encino? Because California is like such a big swath of.
That's interesting. Oh. Okay. All right. Any last question?
Last question.
Last question. One last question. Whoever puts it in here, that's it. One last one. Make it a good one. Make it a juicy one, as juicy as his fart. Also, first off, I gotta say kudos because yeah, we're very strange here. Also, I gotta say, I really adore your name because it has nards in it. Yeah.
Okay, I don't get it.
But... Nards is slang for balls, aka nuts. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It was a big term in the 80s where people called it nards. Yeah.
Nards, really?
Yeah.
Is that a Midwest thing?
No, it was like a US thing in the 80s. Yeah. I'm really surprised no one has never said that to you. Yeah. Yeah. It's very popular in Monster Squad where they say kick him in the nards. And the Wolfman's got nards. Yeah. But, yes.
Okay. I remember that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what it means. Nards means nuts. It's a very popular.
I mean, growing up,
back more in the 80s. Yeah.
In Indiana, they used to call me Barnyard.
Nards is real. Yeah. Barnyard. Interesting. It's Nad and Nards, but in the 80s, it was Nards. Yeah. I will show you. I have nards behind me. Yeah.
Maybe we'll bring it back.
I will totally bring that back. Yes. I do have the fuzzy.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
Yeah, wait. Oh, super juice. Ooh. Perfect.
That was violent.
Yeah.
I do need a check after this.
You guys. Real treat today. Also, you are going down in the history of the Fartist feature to be the first person to actually fart on stream. But yeah, here, see, it's the Wolfman's nards. But yeah, these are actually his nards right here.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those
so yeah, in the 80s, it was a thing in the 80s.
Okay.
The 80s. Yeah, definitely a thing. Yes. Yep. Fart counter is up to 2 now. Yes.
Well, 2.5. That one was like,
It kind of delayed and went again. So yeah,
yeah.
definitely 2.5. Yeah. Living up to the fartist title. Yes, exactly. Oh, it was the last
ultimately, you should
awesome
have a
movies.
counter like the world record,
Okay.
like how many overall in the stream, and then how many during the round of speed questions.
Okay. So we had 2 people ask the same question, and we had this question here. So what was the last awesome movie you've seen? But everybody wants to know juiciest short story.
Juiciest short story. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I gotta go in 10 minutes.
Okay. I don't think you're that's a long story.
What was the most recent short story?
You told the one about the elevator. Or your most recent short story, or the one with like
Yeah,
the
it's
juicy
kind of
one?
sad when you have to ask what is the most recent as an adult human.
As an adult, yeah.
If I was a baby, it would be a different thing. But
oh man, your
the
colonoscopy stream was still to this day my favorite episode.
I did have
legendary, legendary.
And,
yeah.
Too bad there was no video evidence. It's only photo evidence. When I had my knee surgeries, they gave me video of the instruments going inside my knee, taking out my knee.
They didn't give you the little like picturey things.
Oh, it was just pictures. Yeah.
Oh, they didn't do the video. Dang. Sometimes they give you video as well.
I got the runs when I was in Osaka, Japan, earlier this year, and so I had to wear an adult diaper throughout the Osaka Comic-Con, all 3 days.
Yikes!
But I didn't shit during the show. I was thinking about it.
You're thinking you had it on. You should have tried at least trying it one time just to experience that.
At some point, I wanted to test the efficacy or the
efficiency of the diaper.
Efficiency of the adult diaper, because also having to shop for an adult diaper was a little weird. I didn't speak any Japanese at the time. I don't speak. I mean, but I'm using a translator app, but it's like adult diaper, and the attendants would look at me like. Eventually, I found like a drugstore a couple blocks away. They had a huge section of. I was thinking initially of tampons. That's what I found. But is a tampon going to be enough? I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think a tampon goes in that hole.
Oh, not a tampon. Oh, sorry, a maxi pad. I was thinking maxi pad because there's like a sticker on the side, right? So, but
the wings. You got to get the wings. Yeah.
The wings,
no,
right? So,
that would not have been.
Correct. It didn't seem like it would. It would only absorb if I was able to clinch on for life in time. So I gotten like the biggest maxi pad that they had, and then as I'm walking around the shop, like this ray of light. They had a huge adult diaper section, so I was like, "Oh, thank you." So I ended up getting an adult diaper and wore it. And then on the last day, when I got back to the hotel, I was like, "All right, let me try see how this works." So it worked pretty well. I was very impressed with the amount of volume that.
Yeah. Now you're gonna have to test it on a U.S. version to see if they, has the same consistency as the Japanese diapers.
But it's also the cleanup is the other issue. The diaper
true.
itself worked well, but it's just
and Figure says Osaka. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my Osaka chat story.
Glenn says you're a man after his own fart.
Actually, my fart doesn't smell, so that was one thing I really. Yeah, that was one thing at least a positive thing about COVID, if we can say positive and negatives. I couldn't smell my own farts or my own, dumps.
Yeah. So, but you can smell the cigarettes from your neighbors. Court wants to know
somehow.
You didn't save any polyps from your colonoscopy. Sean has one coming up, and I think he should stream. You know what? If Sean has a colonoscopy coming up, he better do it on your stream. but he better be on drawing during your
Well,
stream for
yeah.
this.
What we did on my stream was it was the night before the colonoscopy, so I had to drink all that Ducalax or
You
whatever.
did the prep during your stream. I know that was
Yeah,
amazing.
so I had to finish drawing before I had to go poop. That was the timeline, right? So
Night
because
Doctor
all that stuff
Midnight.
is like it's like working in your insides, trying to expel everything. So that should be a good race.
Shit. Yeah, right, Court. Yeah, make him do the colonoscopy prep on stream. So whatever stream you're doing, do it that day. So the day before.
Well, you have to do a colonoscopy every 2 years or 3 years or how many
It
years?
depends if they find anything. So my mom had colon cancer, so she has to do one at first every 6 months, then every year up until like the 5-year point. So now she still has to do one every year type thing. So yeah. But I think it's every 2-3 years after they clear the first one. But like if you're clear and you have a good history, but yeah. Okay. Also, Kevin P. West wants to know how much would it hold? Ooh. And CJ wants to know, did you leave the shitty diaper in the hotel room? Or did you dispose of it properly?
What did I do? I put it in a bag. I tied it up. I don't know if I left it. I mean, I tied it up. I didn't leave it in the open. I mean, I felt bad already.
Yeah. Oh, you learned how to push hemorrhoids back in? Now that's a skill. Court is dying. Yes. Yeah, that was something, that stream, let me tell you.
I think I probably left it in the hotel only because in Japan and Asia, Asian countries, there's not a lot of trash cans in public.
Oh.
So if you're walking around along the street, you know, in the US, usually there's a trash can like every block or so in the city. But in Asia, there's not a lot of trash cans. So in public. So because the idea is that, you know, you just carry your own trash and when you get home, you throw it out. Oh, so the only really places that have trash cans, you have to go into like a McDonald's or a 7-Eleven. And they'll have like trash cans there. But I don't think I took one to the 7-Eleven. So I think I left it in the hotel room. But I sealed it up. I made sure I double bag sealed it up.
Figure says, poor Peach Momoko is in for a surprise. You have no idea. They are literally on the corner of Hall Aisle D. So she's in for a treat, let me tell you.
So how many people are going to New York?
CJ and Lisa that I know of, but there's also more people in chat that are going. So how many people in here are actually going to New York? So off the top of my head, I know at least 10 people in the YouTube community that's going. And you're meeting Jeremy there, right? Jeremy's going to go pick up that saucy piece that you did.
I owe Jeremy a couple of things.
Yeah. Also, Court says Jeremy, you're poor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
James
she says your poor girlfriend. I say she is in for this because I've seen some of the videos that YouTube he posted, and she's right up your alley. She's got the fart humor. Yeah.
Oh, my girlfriend?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she farted before me. I was like, baby, let's try to maintain the romance a little bit. But you know, she was farting and burping already. So.
Yeah. No, it was meant to pee. Yeah.
Meant to pee.
Good. Yeah. Good question. Did you sign the poo bag when you left it?
I signed it CHEN.
Perfect. Also,
crazy. I had to make sure there was no evidence of my name in that room.
Yeah. Good idea. Good idea. Why is it colonoscopy and not colonoscopoop? That's a good question. Yeah. Ask him all. CJ, there was 24 questions that I have saved from you in the thing. He keeps trying to leave. It's been 2 hours, 20 minutes.
Did anybody ask a question that didn't get answered? Or
yes.
Okay.
24 questions, yes.
So it's just Comics Journey that wants to ask all these personal questions.
Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other people have questions in the chat besides Comics Journey, yes.
Okay. What about one more?
Gotta go. One more? Yes. Okay. What's a good juicy one? Oh, here's a good one from Figure. Have you ever traded one of your original artworks with a fellow artist for their art? So an art trade.
Yes, it's always a weird issue. Um, some artists, uh, it's like to trade artwork. Sometimes you feel like you're getting a good end of the deal. Sometimes you're not. Um, I try not to trade too much stuff. I mean, I don't know. I have. I don't often talk about trading. I just rather not have it.
Yeah.
So
Hmm, that's- yeah, I like smaller conventions. They're pretty nice. Do you have plans to go to like Midwest cons, like Motor City, or some other ones that I know Kevin, like myself, would like to meet you at?
I've done Motor City before.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I've done it twice. I think
Oh,
once in
nice.
2000, I want to say like 9 or 10, and then once in
Oh,
2017,
oh,
2016.
okay. Yeah,
Um,
but come back sometime.
yeah, the last few years just hasn't worked out because I've been traveling during the same weekend.
Yeah,
Um, I was just in Knoxville, Tennessee last week for a store appearance, and then a month ago I was in Kansas City. So I do get to the Midwest a little bit.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I've
I had
been.
some people in the community actually went to those signings.
Oh, okay, great. I went. I but was supposed to go to Indiana Comic Con, Indianapolis, in
Okay.
2020 before the pandemic hit. Um, but yeah, I'm pretty open to going to most shows as long as it works out in terms of scheduling. So
Perfect. Also, if you have any other questions, yes. So, if you guys don't know, pretty much almost every Tuesday night, I want to say around 9 p.m. Eastern ish, you go live on Twitch, also on the YouTube side, but the chat is popping on the Twitch end. Go check him out. So, CJ, if you have any other questions, well, you are going to be running into him at New York, but you can go to the Twitch stream and ask him questions there. You're like, hey, answer all my questions, bro, and do all that fun stuff. But speaking of, you will be at New York Comic Con coming up.
yep.
Go meet him, go say hey. Do you have any other cons that you're going to come up to the rest of the year?
December, um, I'm going to be in Abu Dhabi for
Whoa.
Storm the Block. So it's a first year show put on by Sandstorm Studios. They're a new publisher
Very
out
cool.
of the UAE, United Arab Emirates. And so the show is December 10th, that weekend, the weekend of the 10th. Uh,
Yeah.
8, 9, yeah, 8, 9, 10. Yeah,
8, 9, and 10. Oh, cool.
yeah. I might do a show in Taiwan before that. I'm not sure. And that's about it. There was a show in Morocco, but I had a wedding that same weekend. So I think
Ooh.
Sean might be going to that one.
Well, that's fun. Let's see. Also, yes, 12 days left on Sean's Kickstarter. If you have not seen that one, you can go watch we were just, he was on Sunday. So go check that out, but also click that link there and that will go to Sean's Kickstarter. So are you going to be streaming on Tuesday?
Not sure yet.
Not sure yet.
Because
Okay.
the flight
Yeah.
is around the same time.
Ooh.
So if I
Yeah.
do stream, I'd be streaming at the airport maybe.
Oh, that's fun.
But I'd have to figure out how much I can get done here at home when I get to the airport. But it wouldn't be a regular stream because otherwise I'd be rushing. I mean, LAX has been I picked up a couple friends there recently, and it's just air travel is back to pre-pandemic levels, if not even worse, in terms of
Oh,
the
dang.
volume of travel. So I used to miss flights when I was younger, a lot, and because I'd be getting to the airport last minute. Um, but I haven't missed a flight in years, so my record's been good on that. But it also forces me to get to the airport a couple hours earlier. Um, so we'll have to see.
All right.
It's a
Okay.
roundabout answer, which is no.
Yeah, so that's
Right.
also good information for the people that are traveling to go to New York. Make sure you get there early so you don't miss your flight, because apparently, it's taking longer to get through lanes and stuff.
Flight delays, travel. There's just a ton of people at airports. Safe travels, everybody.
Yeah. All right. I think it's about time. It's been like 2.5 hours. I know how it just happened. But thank you so much for joining me and my lovely buttholes on the chat. Bernard, thank you very much. You are welcome back anytime. Please, by all means, come back. And I'll see you on Tuesday or whenever you stream next.
Okay.
I'll definitely come harass you. But let's get out of here. We're end stream now. Bye, guys. See you guys later.